Hello, Sagittarius. Welcome to your January 2025 forecast. My name is Nicholas Ashbaugh. Apollo is right behind me, recovering and doing great. Thank you so much for everybody who's asked. Let's get into your forecast. So, as you know, I like to go through several sections, beginning with channeled messages. And in the channeled message today, as I was meditating on your sign, I kept seeing a rose coming through. To me, this represents a moment of expansion after some work, after some challenges. Roses take a lot of work. You have to prune things away. You have to give it just the right nutrients, make sure that it doesn't have any disease, all of this stuff. They're kind of a picky flower, but they're well worth the effort. So let's focus on the pruning aspect first. Most importantly this month, I think it's going to be essential for you to take a look at people, activities, and just your schedule in general, anything that's involving your resources. Make sure that it's being managed well and make sure that you're not overextending. It may be time to prune out certain people, places, or things so that you can focus, so that you can really blossom energetically this month. The thorns remind me of like the Three of Swords, for instance. And what I really feel like January is going to provide for those of you that have been going through some challenges or are just really ready for things to turn around, to me, it seems like it's going to be a month of healing and rebounding. But it's essential to make sure that you're surrounding yourself with people and environments that help you thrive. So that's why the pruning piece comes through loud and clear. One of the ways that you can allow yourself to really lean into the blossoming or expansion energy is to engage with Two of Wands. So meditation, just having extra space in your schedule in order to explore or research or dream a little bit. Give yourself that time so that you can grow. And now let's go ahead and take a look at the cards. We'll see where the blossoming energy is. We'll see where the pruning opportunities are and all the stuff in between. Let's get started. All right, let's take a moment and really just focus on clearing our mind so that we can bring in the clearest guidance possible. See yourself standing before the rising sun. Feel that warmth and energy cocoon itself around your body. Plant your feet firmly in the ground and now feel that sense of safety, connection, and protection. Let's now welcome in angels, spirit guides, and ascended masters and begin. Very, very interesting as we look at that, this spread here. All of the cards on the right are upright. We have a tower that clearly is creating some change and shifting energy here because there's a lot of reversals here. So it's very black and white almost here, but very exciting. Change for the better, suffice it to say, especially with 10 of Wands, 9 of Wands, Ace of Pentacles energy. We have a bonus card that also flew off the table. All right, let's get started with your catalyst. All right, here we have honesty coming through with Bigfoot on it. Kind of interesting combination here, but sometimes you have to be bold and honest at the same time, and that's kind of the energy that I get with this. It's interesting because this theme of telling the truth or being yourself or being honest has been consistent as I've looked at the first few signs for January. So suffice it to say, there's something in the air, there's something in the energy where it feels like this is the year to just go for it, to be yourself. When I think about it, honesty is also really nicely connected to the star card because authenticity, honesty, truth, it's all part of that that bright energy that comes with the stars. So in order to get to that blossoming energy, it feels like there's something that needs to happen this year so you can live your truth. All right? Really beautiful message, powerful. Don't be afraid to stand up and show your power too. That's what I see with Bigfoot, and just kind of like move forward. There's a boldness there that is also part of the messaging. Okay, let's just quickly look at the overall spread here and see if there's a theme. I couldn't help but give a little bit of commentary as I was pulling the cards. So like I said, everything on the right-hand side is upright, and this is where the energy is taking us. As I look at the past, a lot of it is reversed, and the tower came through and just sort of swirled things around a bit. But all of these cards are pretty good, or at least they're leading into a decent direction and trajectory here. So let's take it card by card. So the tower is right on top of this center card, the Knight of Pentacles in reverse. As you know, knights usually work quickly. It's all about forward momentum, progress. But when the card is reversed like it is here, it's saying, I need to slow down and look in particular, because we're looking at Pentacles, at my expenditure of time, energy, and money. And you're asking yourself this question as January comes through, which is it still worth it? Is it still returning on my energetic investment? And again, it can be a person, a place, or again, an overall activity. And this is the pruning. This is the auditing piece that we talked about. You can make up for lost time. Knights move quickly, but he is taking a moment to basically assess everything. I'm using a steampunk deck here, but it's interesting that we can see the steam behind him. Sometimes we lose our steam or our inspiration because we're kind of like just stuck in a rut. And if we kind of look into the environment, that's, to me, it could be the place that you're working, you're living, or an activity that you're engaged in, where there's just like a lot of overlapping energy or competition, and it's not allowing you to grow. So there's one thing that kind of needs to be pruned out, and it seems to be coming in the environment. So we'll look at that more in a moment, but already we're starting to get that. The Tower card. This is ostensibly one of the biggest major arcana cards that we can pull. And it can affect so many different aspects of your life. Let's talk about positive towers for a moment. So this could be an offer or an opportunity that could change your entire life, right? But it comes through and it's saying, do you want this? And you have to tune in and think, I have to be honest with myself. I have to be honest with others. Does it match? Does it feel good? So a proposal, a new job, a new living environment, changes for the better. Birth of a child, addition to the family of like a dog. My dog's in the other room now. But any of these things change your entire life. And it's kind of like the whirlwind that we see here on this table where everything got moved around here. But again, it's bringing you into something better. You just have to decide, am I ready now? And is this right for me? Cleaning up messes. I had someone ask me in the comments, I can't remember if it was Facebook or Instagram, they're like, what is this? What does the tower have to do with cleaning? I'm like, everything. The reason is pretty simple. A tower comes in and it creates disarray, chaos, a mess. And it invites you to pay attention to where the mess is so you can clean and change and move. It is a clearing agent. It is a movement in your life, but you have to kind of like react to it. And everything here that's reversed is really where the universe is saying, clean this up. Your expenditure of time and energy, being more honest. We have honesty here. We have a reverse Seven of Swords, so being more truthful. Your emotions, making sure that you're not feeling overwhelmed, that you're not carrying too much of a burden, that you're not overthinking. The tower is asking for all of this to come together so that you can embrace the opportunity when it comes knocking. So I already kind of talked about the King of Wands in the deep past, but let's go a little deeper here. This is the karmic message and it is reversed. So King of Wands in the upright position is one of the best boss cards. And it's an innovative card and it's a forward-thinking card. What happens when the card comes through reversed is sometimes we don't listen to our own better judgment. We don't because of a number of reasons. It could be our own fear, doubt, or anxiety. We could just overthink and worry about a worst case scenario that's probably never going to happen. Or we may succumb to peer or group pressure, or even just someone else's fears. So don't let that happen. You have a great sense of what's right, what's wrong, what you should be focusing on. So believe in yourself. Also, there could be a resistance to change, even in your own life, because what's familiar is comfortable, but it also isn't allowing you to expand. And so the tower's coming in and saying, I need you to try something new. You get to basically, you can get ahead of the tower. The tower in the crossing position is saying, this is avoidable provided that you take some action in these areas. So that's one of the areas that you can shake it up a little bit and say, you know what, I've been doing the same thing and it's not working here. Why don't I explore and try something a little bit different? Let's go ahead and move on to the recent past here. We have Seven of Swords. If we're going to get it, I want it in the past and I want it reversed. Why? Because it's showing that you're ready to move beyond this energy. There could be someone in your life that lacks integrity. There could just be your own inner voice that sometimes is coming through saying, oh, don't worry about it, like procrastination. I don't need to do this. It's not important. You're starting to get past that and realize that if you're going to make a promise, you should keep it. If there's a person around you that can't keep their promises or pay their debts or do what they're expected to do, that it's also not helping you. These things are kind of holding you down or holding you back. So the big message right now is honesty, integrity, transparency. These are the things that you're going to use to judge, should I do this? And also just the sort of the ruler that you're going to use to decide how much progress you're making. So be honest with yourself, be honest with others, keep your engagements, keep your promises. And this is going to allow people to see you as someone that they can trust. It's going to build a firmer foundation. It will help you across all aspects of your life. Let's move on to your crowning card. We have the Ten of Wands that came through in the reverse position. And as much as I like this card, I think that the traditional one tells a better story. So as you can see in this Rider-Waite-Smith card, often that very last step towards the finish line can be one of the most difficult. You can see this person just feeling the weight of the load, the pressure that's being put upon them. And the best thing to do in this moment is to pause, collect your thoughts, take care of yourself, and then look at how close you are to completing something. Also, we were talking about one of the pressures that could be coming through, causing this king to overthink. So this can be pressure from friends, family, society, or anybody in your life to do something that you don't want to do. So this is your chance to let go of those external pressures, to stand in your truth and be honest and say thanks but no thanks. You can stand up to that. And basically, at the end of the day, if you're just a little fatigued, rest, but then eventually finish what you've started. As we take a look at the near future here, we have the Nine of Cups. The card is in the reverse position, but let's just talk about the Nine of Cups in general. This is wish fulfillment. And interestingly enough, you can see right here that there could be something coming through. The only thing that could stand in the way of that fulfillment is anxiety, fear, or just a heightened emotional state. It can even be excitement that clouds your vision. So the most important and effective thing that you can do, remember we were talking about at the very beginning, to give yourself time to think, to dream, to just sort of like see what's going on. Two of Wands also has someone looking at the globe. He's saying, where am I at right now? How am I tracking? And so just slow down long enough to take a pulse, take a deep breath, ground yourself. And then don't second guess when good things happen. That's something that I like to repeat as often as possible. If you've worked hard and you've achieved something, good for you. You deserve it. You brought it into your life. You breathed life into it. So just embrace that opportunity. Now, there may be some things going on in your life that are out of your control. There could be some work stress. There could be something going on with a loved one. And then that weighs a little bit more heavily upon you. So this is a good time for self-care. When you're in the highest high or the lowest low, you don't want to make a critical decision or an important move. Save that action for a moment where you're just a little bit more collected. But what I see here also is the potential for something to surprise you. This could be a wish coming true and you're like, how did this happen? Because, folks, the Tower is here. Let's not forget. And if you've been working with this, if you've been honest with yourself and with others, change it's about time. It's ready to come through. So this is a time to be happy, a time to be honest, to delegate, let some of this pressure go, not to overthink, and really to pay attention to what you're putting your time and energy into. Once that starts to happen, things get interesting, exciting, and more manageable. Let's look at you. It's a beautiful card. It's going to help you with everything this month. Seven of Wands. She is victoriously standing up, and usually there's a little bit of struggle. The person's pushing back, but she's ready to take anything on, anything that comes her way. She's like, bring it, I got it. And that's the attitude that I really want you to feel that you're embodying as you step into this new year and this new month. You can say no often and as much as necessary. You can also push back on something and say, I'll commit to that when I get this, or this. So it's bringing the boss energy that you have here in the deep past and just flipping it into the upright. Being clear, being decisive, unapologetic, and then just wait. By the way, we can infer from the fact that we see the Seven of Wands that you're right on the heels of the Six of Wands, which is basically success. And that explains why there are more people coming in your direction. So it's important to be picky, to be discerning, and to say no, to have those boundaries like we were just talking about. Here's the biggest area of opportunity aside from the Tower here. The Five of Wands represents duplicative effort, sometimes competition, often just an impasse because too many people are trying to get attention or talk at the same time, or they don't know what they're doing, right? And we can see that there's a missing link between these two cards. It's the Six of Wands. It's you. So what you might have to do is lead by example, try to pull people together and help them see like the common interest, and also just kind of reevaluate. Going back to the whole idea of a rose that needs pruning, this is one of those stems that just isn't worth it. And so if you're spending time and energy at a place where people don't either have the leadership or welcome the leadership that you need, or maybe even they're not receptive to you stepping into that role, then this isn't the best use of your time and energy. Overall, this can also just be the management of money, time, or energy as well in your own life. So if you are putting too much energy into worrying, if you are overcommitting and not being able to meet all of those commitments, or if you're just in a place where you're wasting time, prune, because we have way too much to look forward to as we look at hope spheres and opportunities for your sign. So there's a new opportunity in front of you, but it requires you to reach out perhaps and say, I want this, or I'm ready. Also, the universe in general is always open, ready, and listening to us, and sort of like ready for you to state that this is what I'm ready for, and I'm ready for it now. And you can put that into your daily affirmation if you want. There could be love, business, or some other opportunity that is figuratively knocking on the door, and all you have to do is answer, okay? So whether you're the one that's initiating or you're the one that's receiving, being open and sort of seizing this opportunity is really, really important. This can also be a chance for you to invest in yourself. Literally, it could be financial investment. Whatever it is that you are looking forward to doing, this card portends good things, so keep on moving down that path. And finally, we have Nine of Wands here. And this is a chance, again, for you to realize that you can do this. But you can see it nicely on this card. You see the bandage around right underneath his hat. What happens here sometimes is we are sometimes so used to taking on a lot or being sort of pummeled with feedback and expectations and etc. that it's just kind of like our head needs a break. You may be having issues with concentration. Maybe there's migraines. Maybe you just feel like I've had it up to here and I can't do anymore. Honor your body and honor that feeling. Take a break though. The good news with the 9 and the 10 of Wands in these positions, even if you take a step back, you're still going to finish what you need to. And this is a card of unbelievable strength. The 9 of Wands is something that you really can't defeat, and that this is representing you. So people can try. They can keep throwing things your way. It can be an insult. It can be a challenge. It could just be a delay. But you will get to the finish line. Don't give up. And that's the last message in this general spread. Now we're going to expand this and go a little deeper into health, wealth, love, and destiny, beginning with the energy of health, which is your mind, body, and spirit. What a beautiful synchronicity here. We have a card that reads fall, fail, fly. So I was just talking about how a perceived delay or setback could actually be aligning you to something better. That's what this card is relaying to you. This is also about learning from your past experiences. So specifically, since we're looking at health, if you made a mistake, if you did something that really didn't help you get to your optimal health and well-being, learn from it. Don't repeat it, and don't beat yourself up. Sometimes we have to kind of like have that wake-up call. And as long as you answer the call and make a change, it's okay. Nobody's perfect, okay? So cut yourself a little bit of slack, learn from your experiences, and move forward. Let's just generally look at all of the cards here and see if there's some other messages for overall health and well-being. Avoiding extremes. So with the Nine of Cups, what can happen sometimes is we will kind of give into any extreme. It could be working, it could be a vice like drinking, it could be exercising, anything that gives you a sense of joy and escape. And instead of just doing it in moderation, we do it a lot. So pull back from anything that you have a tendency to overdo and try to create some more variety in your life. And especially if this sort of habit is self-destructive. So when we're looking at things like, drinking too much alcohol, smoking, or again, even overworking, these things can create diminished health, diminished well-being, and you're getting back less than you're putting into this particular habit. So this is a wake-up call, and there's probably been something going on in your life that is also shaking you out of that habit. So shaking a habit, that's the first thing here. When we look at the Ten of Wands, this can also be a call to not overdo it when it comes to physical labor, mental sort of pressure that you're putting on yourself, anything of that nature. We don't want to sort of burn out. Seven of Swords is a call to action, to be honest with yourself, with your doctors, with everything, just basically saying, all right, this is what the problem is. I'm going to deal with it. It's going to be all right. You have to kind of put that action plan in place. The rest of the cards are fairly manageable. There's one more thing, though, as I was saying here with the Nine of Wands, and it can be the overall effect that things in your life might be having on just mental acuity, again, migraines or headaches. Anything like this, you want to talk to your doctors, maybe to a counselor as well, and see what you can do to diminish and diffuse the stress in your life so that you can be healthier, happier, and accomplish all your goals and dreams, especially this, because there's something really great that wants to come forth. All right, let's go ahead and expand to wealth. This is resources, life purpose, and career. It's an eye opener. So we have third eye activation. The card is reversed. It's really interesting here that we see these doorways, right? So if you look at the Ace of Pentacles, there's always this doorway that wants to come through. Here we see that same doorway, but it's closed. So remember what I was saying with opportunity, failure, setbacks. One door can close, but another one can open. And when you allow yourself to see beyond the current block or the current rejection, then you see that the world is infinite. There's much more than whatever this person, place, or thing is that is occupying probably too much mental real estate. So that's the first message. Let's just look at the bottom text, make sure we didn't miss anything. So brow chakra, inner vision, clear seeing. This is connected to the King of Wands. This is intuition, inspiration, and innovation. So you know it. Sometimes you may not be able to explain how or why, but you know it. I really want you to trust your instincts and your intuition when it comes to all things related to your career, your money, your trajectory. You know what's best for you. And it feels like in this moment there's a new sense of maturity, of confidence that wants to make itself seen and known. And if you can embrace that, then things can really start to get exciting. All right, we're going to do something new this month. I'm going to pull one card for each of the categories. So as we look at wealth, I'm just going to name them as I do it. So the first category is those who are working. Then we're going to pull a card for anybody that owns their own business, an entrepreneur. Then we're going to pull another card here for anybody that is job seeking. I'm continuing to shuffle, but we have a decent amount of reversals here. So after the job seekers, we're going to look at students and then retirees. Okay, retirees got the one upright, but we're going to, because of this Tower card, I'm not surprised that there's some shaking up to do here. All right, one by one, let's take this. So the first card goes to those who currently are working. Eight of Cups in reverse, breaking cycles and breaking anything that's redundant. This could also be a chance to go back and finish something, a project, education, maybe you're going back to school. And whatever you want to make or break, cyclically speaking, it will stick. So you can let go of a habit that is, again, a vice. It's something that you don't want. You can start something anew, and it will carry you through at least the next month, if not maybe this next quarter of the year. So get very clear on what you want to do. Make sure that you sign up for that, or again, do some necessary pruning. There could also be, for some of you, some travel that you're deciding to book. You're overdue perhaps for a break or a sabbatical. And the last thing here is, before you make a major change in your life, both the 8 and 9 of Cups are asking you for different reasons to sleep on it, to get a little bit of clarity. The 9 of Cups because of heightened emotional state. The 8 of Cups because you just need a little distance from whatever it is that's in front of you so that you can really see it for what it is. Before we move on, I want to highlight this card in Hope, Spheres, and Opportunities. If there's something that you want, advancement, an opportunity, raise your hand. Ace of Pentacles in Hope, Spheres, and Opportunities. Like I said, it goes both ways. If you ask, you have a very good chance of getting it. There is some competition, but if you come out assertive and confident, you're poised for success there. The biggest challenge for those in a current job is this, a lack of leadership. And again, this is a chance perhaps for you to step into that role, or at least maybe find someone that can clarify things if it's lacking, in your current leadership. Let's move on to entrepreneurs. Wheel of Fortune in reverse, changing things up. Some of you might be deciding to move into a new industry. Possibly we were talking about pruning to get rid of one thing and maybe launch something new. The biggest area of opportunity, I think, is in the way that you either have organized your company or the way that people are working, because it looks like there's some duplicative effort. So either they're doing things that take too long, or too many people are doing the same thing. So getting a little more organized, making sure that people aren't kind of like overlapping in efforts. And in doing that, you can change the financial forecast to be much better and much more productive. So I think that there is definitely some efficiency opportunities and a chance, if you want, to do a little bit of a pivot and try something different that really could be well received and beneficial. Hard work. I definitely see the hard work, burning the midnight oil. It's paying off, but don't burn yourself out, okay? Especially if you're a sole proprietor, it's important. Moving on to job seekers. Okay, so 4 of Swords in reverse. It just shows me how hard you're working, but not necessarily getting a lot back. What I would say in this situation is it's not always about casting the widest net. Sometimes it's about being very strategic and pointed in where you decide to apply. Fewer, but like a stronger application process, and don't keep trying the same places. Even though there may be one on that list that it's just like, but I really want it. If you are consistently hearing crickets, find where the energy is. This third eye activation is asking you to focus on seeing it for what it is and knowing that no communication is also a form of communication. They've either made a decision, or they're taking too long, or they want you to move on. You also deserve something that is going to be more receptive energetically. It should feel easy. It should move quickly. There shouldn't be as much difficulty there. With the 4 of Swords also, it's one of 3 or 4 transitional cards. So it's also encouraging you to not be afraid to perhaps put to sleep or put to bed something that you've done for a while. And it's like, you know what? I think I'm over it. You're allowed to be over the old career and embark on something completely different if you would like. So this could be deciding to invest in yourself in education, training, things of that nature. You may also decide that you want to live or work in a different country. This is about making sure that you're not bored. And when that sense of discovery, excitement, and intrigue comes back, opportunities start to knock as well. We have a card of awakening coming through for all the students out there. The 2 of Swords in reverse is what we saw here with the third eye activation. Now you see something for what it truly is. Be honest with yourself, be honest with others. If you like it, go for it. If you don't, ask some questions and make the changes that you need. Sometimes for students, this is a feeling like you're not hearing me or you're not seeing me. And in that case, you need like a different advisor, possibly a different program or a different school. You can transfer if you need to. There could also just be a lack of clarity of what's next or why you have to do something. So the number one piece of advice for students is whatever you're seeing or feeling, it's valid. Whatever your next step is should be an informed one. So ask questions, get support, and make sure that wherever you land next, you feel that sense of being seen and being heard. And the one upright card in this particular section is the Sun card. This is for everybody that is retired. This is about potentially making some new connections. Now this, in some decks, including this, can be love interest, friendship. It's a very magnetic energy, the Sun. You can pull things into your life in this period of time. So for some of you, it may just be for the first time in a while, you feel like I can be myself, I can have fun. It's rebirth energy too. Typically there's a little baby on a horse or a unicorn riding into something new. So have a lot of fun right now. I feel like this is a great time to network and meet new people, and the sky is kind of the limit with that, so that's exciting. All right, let's move on to the next portion. We just looked at wealth. Why don't we take a look at love and relationships and see what's coming through? The two oracle cards for this section are Big Picture and Awareness. Big Picture, I think, is so important because if you're in a relationship feeling frustration or there's miscommunication, sometimes you need that space and distance in order to clear your mind, get the energy that might be coming through here on this Nine of Cups, and again, ground it so it doesn't feel overly high or overly low. Then and only then should you make a decision. There could also be something really obvious that's like right in front of your nose, but you're not going to appreciate it until you take a break. So that resonates a lot. I think it can help you in any aspect of your life, but particularly relationships. We have an awareness card that is reversed. And so for many of you, there could either be a feeling that the other person isn't appreciating you, or that maybe you're realizing that you could tune in a little bit more. There also could be something coming to your attention and you wish you could push it under the rug, but you can't. And so this is deciding what you want to do with that. All right, let's go a little bit deeper now and take a look at three categories. Those who are currently in a relationship, those who are seeking love or relationships, and those that are single and happy. For those that are in existing relationships, we have the Ten of Swords. And before you start to think, uh-oh, what does this mean? It could be a myriad of things. The first is just burnout. You could be working so hard or so much that by the time you're able to spend time with your partner, there's aggravation, there's irritation, and it can lead to a disagreement or a misunderstanding. This doesn't always have to be an argument. This could also be a health challenge that one or both of you may be experiencing, and then that makes it a little bit more difficult to be able to have a conversation. Being as completely honest as possible is important. Being empathetic to the other person's wants and needs is also important. The awareness can help bring you closer. A little bit of distance can help bring you closer. If your partner loses their temper, ask them, say, wait a second, are you okay? This is very unlike you. Or where is this coming from? Or how did I not know? Like, always take a step back and then ask, rather than you don't want to meet fire with fire. That's the main advice here. You can also defer, delay, or push back on something and say, I want to talk about this, but I don't think now is the best time. You could be in a heightened sensitive state. The partner could be. Take some time. The Tower is a necessary change. So the other thing here is if things are either going to the next level, it could be a leveling up, a good surprise. Someone could be proposing to you, for instance. Or if it's something really challenging and you see that maybe the two of you aren't matched. Whatever that is, again, once you perceive it, you can't bury that underneath the rug. It's kind of like what I was talking about with the students. It's just a question of how do you want to proceed. I really do feel like this is going to be a clarifying month, and it goes to one end or the other. It's either make it or break it in relationships. The thing that will bring you through to help you make it is clear communication. So don't meet fire with fire. Be empathetic, be inquisitive, take time, get space. All of these things will help you, and take care of yourself. I think for many of you, this could just be burnout, okay? Moving on to those that are looking for love, Page of Pentacles in reverse. This is a period of time where if you want something, it's about speaking up and also kind of like setting expectations and saying, this is really what I need, what I want, what makes me happy, asking them the same things. So it's about wants and needs, discovering that and discussing that. You may also simply need to spend some time taking care of yourself. Whenever we have a court card in the suit of Pentacles when it's reversed, it's basically saying this is time for healing, self-care, development, and growth. That needs to happen first. Then you may be able to meet someone, and it could be an earth sign. We have Ace of Pentacles, Page of Pentacles. With this being reversed, though, there's just a little bit of work on yourself first that you need to do. And I really think it's about independence, feeling good with yourself. Once you're no longer looking so much, it feels like it, love or opportunity comes knocking. Okay, finally, if you're single and happy, King of Pentacles coming through saying this is exactly where you need to be right now. You can put your energy into whatever you want. Personal development, career development, finances. Some of you might be deciding to purchase or sell a home because this card is connected to the home, or just nesting a little bit. But this guy has the green thumb. Anything that he puts his energy into, we see growth and development. So this is a really great time for you to be successful. And that's a beautiful way to wrap up that category. Now let's take a look at destiny. And I'm going to just pull the card straight to the camera here. We have travel, stamina, and service. The travel piece makes a lot of sense, especially since we had the 10 of Wands. This isn't necessarily relocation or moving. It can simply be deciding to travel for fun. Maybe you're saving up to do the traveling, because when I look at a camel, I think of that store of energy in its hump. So you're creating a budget, a savings account, something on the calendar in the distance to kind of create that travel. Stamina. This is about taking care of your health and well-being to make sure that you have what it takes to accomplish all your goals, dreams, and aspirations. And for those of you that have more than enough, like that King of Pentacles that we saw, there may be a way to put your time and energy into giving back. Mentorship, teaching, maybe even just deciding to work for a nonprofit or charity. Philanthropy was what I was looking for. So any and all of this is coming forth. It's a really nice destiny card, actually. By the way, the camel can weather any storm. So whatever challenges might be in front of you, you have what it takes. And based on everything that I see here, we're going to look at a final card in a second. But I will say this month looks really good, particularly with this ace that's knocking here in opportunities. Just take care of yourself and make the necessary changes that we talked about. Now it's your opportunity to ask one more question. This can be anything that I haven't had a chance to answer. Go ahead and set that question out into the universe. Let's give the cards a shuffle, and we'll see what Spirit has to say. So this is really clear, actually. So if it was a yes or no, it's a not yet. It's not a hard no. It's just saying the timing's off a little bit. And more specifically, Hanged Man is asking you to pause for a second, to look in a different angle, in a different direction, see it from the other side. And that's really nicely aligned with the big picture message that came through when we were looking at relationships, right? And also when I was looking at career, when the 8 of Cups was coming through, I was saying, maybe you just need a little bit of time and space before you make the decision. Even the 9 of Cups is about that too. It's about making sure that the emotion's clear. And inspiration can strike sometimes when you have experienced that feeling of being stuck. Sometimes we have to have a misstep in order to go in another direction. So hang out for a second where you're at. Look at it from another perspective and see if something doesn't come into focus. That brings this reading to a close. If you enjoyed it, do me a favor. If you're a first-time viewer or you've just never hit the subscribe button, go ahead and do that now. That way you'll never miss out on a future video. For everybody, I would appreciate it if you liked the video and left a comment below. These simple acts of engaging with the video basically tells YouTube this is quality, and then it serves it up to other people. So thank you in advance for all of that. You can also show some love and support through a super sticker, super like, or membership. That way I can do more videos just like this. To make sure that you don't miss out on future videos, you can also follow me across social media. It's always my full name, Nicholas Ashbaugh, on all the major platforms. I'm on emerging platforms like Blue Sky. My handle there is nicholasashbaugh.com. That's also my website. Feel free to check that out if you want more links and information. Remember, I don't offer private readings, so if you ever see someone trying to do that, you know it's not me. I don't use direct messages either, so stay safe. That's everything for today. I just want to say I really appreciate your love, your support, and the time that you spent here today. I do other types of videos here. Check out my daily ones. It'll be under the Shorts tab. You can come and look at the live videos every Sunday at 9:15 a.m. That's on the live tab. And then I have a ton of monthly videos as well. So thank you very much for your love, your patience, your time, and for being present here. I'll see you soon. Happy New Year.